Have you ever had to become the bully to stop being bullied? I'd had severe cystic acne throughout high school, and then sophomore year, I fainted during a presentation about personal hygiene. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. My best friend Paul found this hilarious, and immediately christened me Pizza Face Pete, sometimes shortened to just Pizza. Soon my whole friend group, Paul, Nick, Tyler, was using it constantly. They'd joke about ordering toppings when my skin got slightly red from exercise. At first, I forced myself to laugh along, but after months of girls visibly cringing when they heard the nickname, and of bartenders smirking when my friends ordered a beer for the pizza over there, I was dying inside. You see, I'd already spent thousands on dermatologists and therapy to get past those traumatic high school years, and now my adult friends had dragged me straight back. I caught myself obsessively checking my reflection, paranoid about every minor blemish. I started avoiding bright lighting, sitting in dark corners at bars. Dating became torture. How do you explain to someone that your friends still call you Pizza Face? I was 26 years old, successful in my career, but around them, I was still that humiliated 15-year-old covered in painful acne. My confidence evaporated like water on hot pavement. Then came Nick's engagement party. When introducing our friend group to his fiance's parents, Paul announced, "This is Pizza Face Pete." We call him that because in high school his face looked like a pepperoni pizza, and he passed out giving a presentation about washing your face. Like he actually just blurted it out, almost like he was actively trying to humiliate me. The entire table went silent. Nick's future mother-in-law looked horrified. I stood there, frozen, while my friends cackled at my humiliation. After the party, I confronted them in the parking lot. "That nickname is destroying me. Please stop." Tyler rolled his eyes dramatically. "Jesus, Pizza. Learn to take a joke." They all laughed and drove off, leaving me standing alone under the streetlight. That's when I decided if they couldn't understand my pain through words, they'd have to feel it themselves. That night, I mapped out my revenge with surgical precision. I studied each friend's deepest shame, the part of their past they desperately tried to bury. Paul had gotten arrested for shoplifting women's underwear in college. Charges dropped, but the mugshot existed online. Nick had explosively pooped himself during last year's city marathon, with photos plastered across running forums and local news sites. Tyler's ex-girlfriend had posted screenshots of him sobbing and begging after she dumped him, calling him Tissue Box Tyler to all their mutual friends. Each of them had worked hard to move past these humiliations, to rebuild their reputations, just like I had worked to heal from my acne. But they'd been publicly exploiting mine for months. I started by sending a wonderful Monday morning group text. "Morning, panty thief, poop stain, and tissue box." Dead silence in the chat for 30 minutes. At our usual lunch spot, Paul walked in, and I called out loudly, "Hey, panty thief Paul!" Still shopping in the women's section, his face drained of color as heads turned. Nick arrived, and I stood up enthusiastically. "Make room for Nick the poop stain." He froze in the doorway as people at nearby tables snickered. Tyler showed up, and I waved dramatically. "Tissue box Tyler. Try not to cry into your pasta." The waitress looked deeply uncomfortable. My friend sat in stunned silence, processing what was happening. "What the F is wrong with you?" Paul hissed under his breath. I smiled innocently. "What? I thought we all had funny nicknames based on our past." "Don't be so sensitive, panty thief." Nick's face turned red. "That's completely different, and you know it." I shrugged. "Different how?" "Explain it to me." "Poop stain." By Wednesday, they were cracking under the pressure. I was using their nicknames relentlessly, in Instagram comments, shouting across the gym, introducing them to women at bars. "Meet my boys, panty thief, poop stain, and tissue box." They stopped going out with me entirely. Tyler confronted me at the gym, voice shaking. "Those things you're bringing up, they're the worst moments of our lives. It's different." I kept bench pressing calmly. "Different how?" "My worst years were when I had severe acne. You've been calling me Pizza Face for 8 months." Nick pulled me aside after work, desperate. I had to explain to my fiancée why someone called me poop stain at the grocery store. Her mom was there. "This needs to stop." I looked him in the eye. "Now you know how I feel explaining Pizza Face Pete to every woman I meet, every single time." Paul texted frantically, "My boss heard you call me panty thief at lunch. He's asking questions. Please stop." I responded with a pizza emoji. Eventually, Paul called an emergency meeting at his apartment. All three of them looked exhausted, defeated, and smaller somehow. "We get it," Paul said quietly, unable to meet my eyes. "What we did to you, it's not just teasing. It's effing torture. Having your worst moment, your deepest shame, become your name. It's dehumanizing." The room fell silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. I looked at each of them carefully. "Never again, any of it. We use real names only, or we're not friends." They agreed immediately.